Hello and welcome to the 15th episode of the Influential Wellnesspreneur podcast. My name is Sebastian Hilbert and I'm the Wellnesspreneur expert. I help wellness business owners to engage their ideal clients with an effective online presence. And every week I host this podcast and have some incredible people every single week on. And this week it's Sally Estlin, the owner of Holistically Fit. Hi Sally, how are you?
Hey, Sebastian. Very well, thank you. And thank you for having me on.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. Look, to everyone who's out there listening today, just a quick introduction. Sally helps people globally to get fitter and connect deeper with themselves. After struggling herself to get up each morning for a long time and then being a single mother with kids, she turned her life around. She became a personal trainer to immerse herself in her passion for fitness and wellness. And 3 years ago, Sally set up a holistic training center to help people transform their lives like she did. Only recently, which I find most exciting, she launched a whole new one-to-many program to take her wellness business to the next level. Her Empower Your Body program is designed to shift awesome aging chicks from feeling average to ace. It's a transformational journey of self-discovery to ultimately get you feeling fitter, freer, and more fabulous as you become more connected and confident. That in itself just sounds absolutely awesome, Sally. And I'm really looking forward to hear about this now, and everyone out there, I'm pretty sure as well. So let's get right into it. Sally, tell us about your story that I just shortly introduced, but I know there's more to it. So where did it all start?
Oh, well, in a nutshell, I was about 28 and I was busy working in banking and broking and, sort of when I look back, slightly toxic lifestyle that I had, working hard but playing hard, and diet was a bit fried foodish and, very red wine-ish and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I discovered that I was pregnant. I'd just recently been married and thought, whoa, this came from left centre. And as part of that, I actually had a pap smear, and they discovered that I had SIN3, which is the last level before you get cervical cancer. And at the same time, I had abnormal pregnancy and I had a tumour. So I had a couple of sort of medical issues going on, thinking, whoa, mate. So before I had part of my body cut out as part of this getting rid of the cells thing, I went and saw a naturopath. And so as a second opinion, rather than just go straight down the line and cut something out. And so, look, I ended up having the medical stuff done, but at the same time started delving into natural therapies. And through the naturopath, I really found my life started to change, and I did some detox programs, and also started taking different homeopaths and herbs and things, and got rid of things like hay fever, and I just started to feel better. So I continued working on in banking, but then started to really look into the natural therapies area and studied some aromatherapy, and it led me into completely walking out of banking and then studying massage, and then led into naturopathy, homeopathy, and I really started to find my whole life was being drawn into the natural therapies area because it was making me feel better. And then, I was busy having 4 kids, and I came out of that sort of, that bubble at about age of 40, and I really put on the stops. I had thought, whoa, my marriage is going down the toilet. I'm just not feeling great. I'm not in a great space. So I literally stopped, looked in the mirror and thought, what are you doing? Who do you want to be? What are you becoming? And I thought, I was just highly stressed, 4 young kids, couple of dogs, renovating, eating well and that sort of thing. But I didn't have my mojo back. And, when you come out of small kids growing up and you go to take a breath, I think, well, which way am I going now? So I started to get into exercise as a stress relief, and it was really fantastic. And I got right into it, and I thought, I feel so much better. And then the diet improved even more. And I thought, this is really great. So that then, after a number of years, that led me into working as a PT and then opening my own business called Holistically Fit, Empower Yourself Inside and Out. Because I quickly realized that my clients were coming to me thinking to lose just 5 kilos and tone up generally. But it was more than that. It's the whole umbrella of things that affect people. So it's not just the diet, it's not just the exercise, it's the mindset, it's the habits, it's the lifestyle, and most importantly, it's the love for yourself. And so that's brought me up to where I'm at now. And now I'm developing online programs to reach people more than just physically in front of me in Melbourne, but, have a more global approach to it. So, try and help people everywhere around the world get to a better place and feel better about themselves like I'm doing now. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I can feel the passion energy on your side. It's really, really cool. And I love seeing people in your field who are doing the right things when it comes to health and wellness to really thrive and take on the opportunity that basically online and the connectiveness of the world currently really provides for us. So it's fabulous. And I think the creating programs that people can take on is a fantastic way to go about that. So what's up with that? Where did that come from? I mean, I think that it's not the traditional way of being a therapist or a PT, isn't it?
No, it's really interesting because it was probably 6 or 7 years ago when I was being a PT. I just felt there was more I could do. And, a part of it, I started studying counselling because I found that clients were, like with a lot of other therapists, talking about their daily lives and felt in a safe environment where they could download a lot of stuff and get it up and out, but also were looking for some guidance and things and feeling a little bit lost and slightly overwhelmed with where they were in life. So I did some work with an intuitive careers counsellor, and we came up with this program, Empower Your Body program, and so I started that maybe 6 or 7 years ago with a couple of current clients. So yes, we were going to do, at that time it was a 12-week program, and the aim in their head goals were just to lose some weight and tone up and really go hard and fast with it. But I found that most of it was connecting with them about their mindset and getting them in the right space and looking at their catalysts and motivations for wanting to change and looking at little tweaks that we could make. And so, yes, we did the physical stuff, but at the same time, we were really connecting and getting down to them and their inside and how they felt and the beliefs about themselves and the limitations they had on themselves, as well as their daily habits and, all that sort of stuff. So that sort of evolved a number of years ago, and then, kept working along with clients. And then I came across the group that I'm involved with, the Wellness Leadership Academy, which helps different practitioners take the work, or what we call magic, that they have between their clients and take that into a global arena so that you can develop online programs and help people no matter where they are. And do it in the privacy of their own home and work along at their own levels. Because time is one of the major factors affecting everybody, stress and time. So if you can have a program that you can work at when it suits you and when you're in that sort of nice environment, it might be the weekend when you've got a bit of peace and quiet, or it might be when the kids go to bed, or it might be first thing in the morning before you go to work. So there's no such word as can't. You can always do something. If you want to change, you can. And, just creating the awareness that, about yourself and being responsible for your own body and for your own actions. And just once we start along that journey, it's amazing. It's amazing how life can unfold and change and just bring more joy and abundance into your life. I'm really passionate about it.
Yeah, I can feel that. It's great. It's great. You just how you approach fitness reminds me of Dave Nixon, which I had on the podcast I think 3 weeks ago, and he's also all about finding the catalyst and the motivator for those who want to train with him. I think this is actually, for me, back when I heard it from him, I thought this is something really new I never heard before. And now I have you here, and you talk all the time, and I find it fascinating. I think this should really be the right approach, because it's sustainable, because you have the right motivators and know why you're doing it for
absolutely.
It will do the right thing, and you also will have fun with it. I think that's a big part as well.
Yep, fun is absolutely key. all this, I mean, it does require work, hard work, but the hard work can be fun. Absolutely. And when we come to catalysts, that's the things that drive us. That's the things that gets us across the line. You know, being a better quality mum really motivates me to not make those bad decisions sometimes, you know, for the kids, I think. You know, and wanting to have a healthier life in my 60s and 70s. I mean, we were just discussing today, I'm 50 today, and I'm saying 50 is nothing these days. You know, 50 used to be old in our mindsets, but 50 is like the young 30. You know, I feel amazing. I've probably never been fitter or in a better shape.
Amazing.
And you know, wait, watch out, 60s, here I come. But I don't want to be in a wheelchair at about 65. There's a really interesting sign at a chemist around the corner. It's a sandwich board out on the corner, and it's got a picture of a lady in a Zimmer frame, and then a lady, and next to her, a lady in a bathing suit with her arms outstretched, loving life with the sun shining down on her face. And it says, which one do you want to be? These women are exactly the same age. So, you know, I'm really big about preventing illness down the track. You know, one of the really scary stats is that in Australia, every 13 minutes, someone dies of cardiovascular disease, and every 27 minutes, someone dies of a heart attack. Now, these deaths are preventable, the majority of them. You know, we're ticking time bombs. Australia and the rest of the world, we've become very complacent about our health and our weight and our overall well-being. I think it's about 66% of Australians are either overweight or obese. That's 2 out of 3 people. And I think it's something like 56% of Aussies think that they're healthy. Now, that's 2/3 of the population is either overweight or obese. That's 2 out of 3 people. Like, it's astounding. Now, what sort of illnesses are going to happen if they're not happening now will happen down the track? It's inevitable. And this is preventable. And we need to be accountable for our own bodies and our own actions and our own choices. And when we have that awareness about what can happen down the track, or how we could just tweak little things in our everyday life, in our diet, in our lifestyle, in our exercise, can make huge differences down the track. Little things like drinking 2 liters of water a day, you know, just hydrating a little bit more, and, you know, cutting back on the fried food and choosing, you know, good quality fats and oils, avocados, and you know, all that sort of stuff. It's just small things, and I've done it myself. You know, I was back in broking days. You know, it was a bottle of red wine every night down at the pub with everyone, and then we'd just go and get a greasy burger. I was still going to the gym, and my weight was fine, but you know, the quality of the food that I was eating, it wasn't nutrient dense. Man, it's scary. But, you know, that's the journey I've gone through. And I just want to help people, you know, bring in better quality now and not 10 years down the track when they're suffering from these things, going, well, did you know that like dementia and Alzheimer's and all those sort of things, they might start surfacing in your 40s and 50s, but they start developing in your 20s. In your 20s, it's amazing. I was interviewing someone the other day about it. And 3 things that you can do to prevent it is 1, reduce stress. 2 is exercise and high intensity exercise. And 3, I can't remember. Oh, yeah, paleo diet. No, keto diet. So high fats and high protein, because the body, the hormones, the brain requires a lot of fats. So, I mean, that's another thing we need to focus on, diet with fats being good for us. You know, I could go on forever about that. Good quality fats. Really feel the body.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Very good. Coming back to so just to confirm that, I think all it comes down to me is that we need to start being proactive with our health rather than reactive. And I think that's kind of how the whole health system actually in the Western world is set up. And I always love this analogy or metaphor of it's like we have broken train tracks on top of a cliff, and instead of fixing the tracks, we continue to build faster ambulances down at the bottom, right?
Absolutely. Being proactive and not reactive. Totally. We're just putting Band-Aids on, and we're not getting down to the root cause, which is ourselves and our mindset. Because the way we think and feel, every action that we make is based on how we think and feel. So if you're tired and stressed, you tend to make, you know, worse choices than you would if you sort of refreshed. But, you know, part of all of that is being aware of your habits. And then it's like giving a child a new food, 6 or 7 times of trying something different. And then that can become a new healthier habit.
Mm. 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 Yeah, very true. But coming back to your program, I understand that this really enables you to reach a global audience, and that itself has lots of benefits. First of all, giving more people the opportunity, no matter where they are, to actually make changes, positive changes to their life, but also for you as a business owner to not being restricted by location. What would you say? Would you start to do this? Like, if I'm say a traditional therapist and I'm charging by the session, you know, that's usually how it goes. Where should a person like that start to create a program like that?
Or if they wanted to get into more of the online world, well, you know, have a hybrid approach. Just start doing you're still doing your one-to-one in your clinic or whatever. But, you know, start getting out using social media and asking people what they're after and what they're into. Instagram is great. Facebook Lives. Start creating the know you, like you, trust you sort of scenario of getting your face known, yourself known, and what you're about. And people align. The whole law of attraction, you know, they align with your energy. And it's amazing. You know, Instagram I found really incredible. Just putting posts out. I do my own sort of wellbeing interviews, and I just post those out. And, you know, my followers, I've got a whole heap of hairdressers that do, I don't know, what's that funny thing when they, with the afro hair, and they do the beading and stuff. Yeah, I've got a whole heap of followers of that down that line. It's incredible. But, you know, everybody is, not everybody, but the energy around the world is that people are looking more into the wellness industry and wanting some help to get started. You know, it is a very stressful, chaotic world, and overwhelm can be quite a big thing. And so, you know, in the security and safety and privacy of your own home, people can start searching through social media. You're flicking through Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, and see things that spark their interest, and then they can start looking into it. So, yeah, you can still be working in your practice, but at the same time, reaching out already into the wider globe via social media, and then, you know, testing the waters and asking people what they're after, or, you know, what their issues are, or what they're after, or what they'd like to change in their life, and start from there.
I love that, because it's really, and we work with our clients. It's all about asking, coming up with something that they think is the truth, let's say, about their clients, and then you would, you know, put something up online, or you do a Facebook Live, or maybe build a landing page or a new website or whatever it is. But we always say, well, at the end, it's just guesswork, right? So you need to, not guesswork necessarily in terms of the systems that you use, because they are proven ones out there, but in the terms of like what language you use and the problems you are addressing. So going out there and asking them, maybe even have little interviews or something like that to really find out, you know, not just what problems, but also how do they express these problems, right? What language do they use? What words do they use to express this? Because if you can put that one out there when you you know, go on social media, as you just described it, and use this, then that will create a really connection, and then you get this energy kind of alignment. And I love that too, what you said about that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've got teenage kids, 4 of them, and the other day I've got a YouTube channel, and they're showing me their contemporaries, or all the shows or the things that they subscribe to, you know, smash these likes and, you know, subscribe now, and they're all doing all the yo man whatever stuff, and that's they're reaching the teenage audience. It's really interesting, you know, just sort of researching what's out there. But I know myself, you know, I get my emails and my inbox inundated, and I just flick. But I really like to relax, put my feet up about 10 o'clock at night, sometimes a glass of vodka or whatever, and search through, you know, social media, go through Instagram or Facebook in the comfort of my own home, in the privacy. No one, you know, no one's in my face, and you know, I pick up some really interesting stuff because I'm relaxed. I go, oh yeah, that's really interesting, and then I start following somebody or whatever, and you know, just aligning, because YouTube is just full of so much stuff. It's awesome. There's so much information out there, but you know, once again, it's the law of attraction. You know, when you're in that right vibe, you're finding the stuff that needs to be there, and you're just going with it.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Sally, I always like to ask, or in my interviews, and to give some tips, like the 3 best tips on basically anything. Usually we go around growing a wellness business, or maybe around creating a program, but you already did that a little bit. But thinking about that, what would you think are your 3 best tips?
Oh, number 1 is always let it go. Let it go. We're in things, once we get into a state of gratitude or into a place of gratitude and look at what we're really grateful for, all the other stuff doesn't really matter. The stuff that we're spending 90% of the day stressing about, really at the end of the day, it's not that important. When we look at what we're grateful for our health and for, you know, the country that we live in and the opportunities that we have and what we already do have, it helps. Well, it helps me just breathe, which is number 2, just breathe through everything. Just, you know, stop when everything gets too overwhelming. Just take a moment. If you can go out for a walk, connect in, hand on your heart, sometimes 3 deep breaths, and just let everything out. Just let your mind detox. It's walking and connecting is so important, and it helps let everything go.
I'm doing it right now. Like every time someone says it, I'm like, because it really does.
Breathing in and breathing out. It is fantastic. Fantastic. And I don't know, let stuff go. Oh, you know, if you can, on top of all of that, the number 3 big thing that it's hard to get people to do is to really look at their self-worth, their self-belief, and their self-love. Because at the end of the day, the person who can love you the most is only you. And that was a really big eye-opener and a big challenge for me to do, particularly if you're a nurturer and a busy mum or busy whoever, and you're always giving, you always put yourself last. And it's very difficult to actually stop and look after yourself first. Because at the end of the day, if you're not in a good space, you're no good to anybody, your partner, to your kids, to friends, to family, whatever. And it was a really big thing that I've had to really overcome and really focus on my own self-love. And, you know, it's not easy. Everything is a challenge. But, you know, as I said before, if you keep chipping away at it, it does become easier and easier and easier. So, you know, connecting into what's important and being grateful. And
is there anything, so I loved the 3 tips. I definitely love it. And especially the last one gels with me massively, because first of all, it reminds me of my mother. She has always been just kind of sacrificing herself constantly. And I feel like I would love her to get to love herself a bit more. And what is it? Do you have something that someone could do to kind of do more self?
Absolutely.
How do you
to connect in with your self-love, you literally get a mirror, look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself a big kiss and just say, I love you, you know, and that's giving me tingles. So when I get the goosebumps, I'm right on par, because, you know, I had to stop and look in the mirror and look at myself and you know, go, is this you? Where do you want to go? What are you doing? Who are you? And you have to like pick yourself up sometimes and give yourself another great big kiss and go, it's okay. You know, we're all human. We all fall off the wagon. We're not perfect. That's why we're on this earth. But that's a learning curve as well. So, you know, looking in the mirror, really important. And, you know, I have to remind myself sometimes too. But in the morning when you get up, you know, if you have a regular routine, it becomes easier and easier. It might be looking in the rearview mirror in the car and just going, whoa, I'm awesome. Or, you know, in the morning when you're brushing your teeth, just have a good look and, you know, give yourself a kiss. I love you. Like, I totally love you because you're awesome.
Yeah, I try to do that as well. And I think that actually does work. And so just recently with Tom Poland, actually in last podcast, he said, it's also just not about telling yourself how awesome you are, but also when when something comes up that is self-doubt or this self kind of damaging stuff,
the fear and anxiety,
recognize it and accept it. Not just don't just resist it and try to overpower it with like some kind of self-love that you think you have, but actually recognize it, observe it, and it goes away, and then replace it with positive aspirations like you just described it.
Always when the fear and anxiety comes up, I stop and I pause. I feel into it. Don't dismiss them, because they're real feelings. Because as I said before, all your actions are based on your thoughts and feelings. So if you accept them, address them, like as in own them, and go, okay, that's how I feel, then let it go, and then make your choice. If you have that pause moment, and I was watching a TED Talk or something the other day, and you just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it helps you refocus into usually making healthier choices from that moment when you've got fear, anxiety, whatever it is. So yeah,
very
crossing
good.
that line, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a wonderful way to finish today's podcast with you, Sally. Thank you so much for this incredible input. I really enjoyed our talk, and there were some really cool things there. I'm sure our audience today will take away. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, Sebastian. Good to see you laughing, Pete.
Yeah, thank you. Same. So also, I wish you a fantastic birthday today. So have fun with that.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm a party girl.
And to all our listeners out there, I hope you enjoyed this podcast today, listening to it as much as I did interviewing. If you want to know more about Sally and her Holistically Fit business, there will be a link to her website in the show notes. So make sure you scroll down and have a look at that and check it out. Make sure you also subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss next week's episode. And with that said, I say tschüss and see you next week. Bye, Sally.
See you, doll.
If you would like to find out more about what Sally does, head to www.holisticallyfit.com.au. The website link along with Sally's social links and email are in the show notes, so check them out. Don't forget to subscribe to the Influential Wellnesspreneur podcast so you don't miss an episode, and get involved in our social community. We look forward to seeing you next week when we interview our next inspiring wellnesspreneur. Until then, have fun.